Mercedes said it was legal. The FIA approved it. And everyone moved on. Until now. Because last night, everything changed. The FIA just launched a new investigation. Not because of protests. Not because of rival teams. But because of new evidence. Evidence they found inside their own labs. And what it shows could expose the biggest engine scandal in modern Formula One. We're talking about chemical markers, irregular heat signatures, and a suspicious power surge hidden inside the Mercedes engine map. If this is real, Mercedes didn't just bend the rules. They may have bypassed a fundamental limit of combustion physics. This could mean secret ignition sequences, metal deformation under pressure, and a performance boost worth 17 seconds per race. Now the FIA is scrambling. Internal documents are being reviewed. Private meetings are being scheduled. And if they confirm the data, the entire 2026 season could be in question. But here's the part no one saw coming. This evidence didn't leak. It was flagged by an FIA engineer, one who worked on the original engine homologation. And what he found might be enough to tear Mercedes out of the championship before the first race. Stay with me, because in the next 2 minutes, you'll hear what that engineer saw, why the FIA kept it secret for weeks, and how this scandal could destroy more than just a title fight. The engineer's name hasn't been made public, but what he found has now triggered the most serious internal investigation the FIA has opened in over a decade. It started with a routine cross-check, a post-test review of power unit telemetry, run through a new set of thermal filters, developed after the 2019 Ferrari case. And on the Mercedes data, something didn't line up. The engine's internal temperature was consistent, too consistent. Over 1,100 laps in Barcelona, the M17 ran flawlessly. But more than that, its combustion profile showed zero thermal degradation. Not a single spike. Not one instability. Even under full race simulations. That's not just rare. That's impossible under current regulations. So the engineer flagged it. Ran it again. This time, using high-sensitivity heat maps. And that's when it showed up. A small region, just beneath the cylinder head, on the lower left combustion chamber, registered a pattern. A rise in pressure, followed by a rapid cooldown. Repeated exactly every 17 laps. Every single run. It matched no known engine behavior. Not even under boost cycles. So the team dug deeper, and found trace chemical markers in the gas output simulation. Compounds consistent with synthetic detonation enhancers. The kind you'd expect from controlled pre-ignition systems. The kind the FIA banned in 2023. The kind that can't be detected unless you know exactly where to look. And now, for the first time, they're looking. They've pulled internal design files, requested new heat sensor placements for Bahrain, and, according to 3 independent sources, ordered a physical teardown of the Mercedes test engine, stored in Geneva under sealed conditions. But here's the question nobody can answer. If this evidence is real, why didn't the FIA catch it earlier? And the answer is what makes this story so dangerous. Because it wasn't just missed. It might have been ignored. If the data was there, why did no one speak up? That's the question spreading through the paddock. And behind closed doors, it's triggering something even more dangerous than a technical protest. It's exposing a political fault line inside the FIA itself. Because according to 2 senior team sources, this anomaly wasn't new. It first appeared in late December, right after Mercedes submitted their final engine homologation. At the time, the signature was brushed off, filed as thermal variance under unknown load conditions. Translation? The data looked strange, but no one wanted to touch it. Why? Because the M17 engine had already passed all compliance stages. It had been signed off, publicly, permanently. To reopen that file would mean admitting the FIA approved something they didn't fully understand. And now, with the evidence growing, the silence is collapsing. Internal emails have been pulled. 2 compliance officers have been asked to step aside. And 1 senior figure, rumored to be involved in the homologation panel, has gone completely quiet. No public statements. No media access. Not even on internal calls. That's not a delay. That's a cover. And Mercedes knows it. Toto Wolff hasn't said a word publicly. But behind the scenes, he's already moved. Legal teams in London. Technical advisors in Brixworth. And a direct communication to FIA headquarters, reminding them that any retroactive rule change will be considered a breach of contract. This is no longer a sporting issue. It's legal. It's corporate. It's existential. Because if the FIA overturns its own approval, Mercedes is prepared to fight it in court, and not just in sport arbitration. They're ready for a full lawsuit, a financial investigation, and possibly a temporary withdrawal from championship operations. You heard that right. They could walk, even before round 1. But it gets worse. Because while the FIA is tearing itself apart, the other teams have been watching, waiting, recording every move. And now Ferrari, Honda, and Audi are preparing to make their own play. Not just against Mercedes, against the FIA. Because if favoritism can be proven, even hinted, this scandal won't stop at a single engine. It will go all the way to the top. While the FIA struggles to contain the damage, the teams have stopped waiting. Ferrari, Audi, and Honda, the ones who first raised concerns about the Mercedes engine, have now shifted from protest to retaliation. And they're doing it with precision. Ferrari was first. In late January, they submitted a private inquiry to the FIA Technical Working Group. Not a protest. Not an accusation. Just a question. Under what conditions are thermal expansion mechanisms permitted within regulated engine structures? That one sentence triggered a 30-page internal memo and forced the FIA to re-examine its own engine compliance definitions. Then came Audi. Their engineers in Newburgh began their own simulations, trying to replicate the heat behavior seen in Mercedes test data. But here's what they found. The power gain Mercedes achieved only happens if one very specific alloy is used in the engine wall. An alloy that reacts to pressure, stores thermal energy, and subtly warps combustion timing, without touching the ignition map. It's technically genius. And also, technically untraceable, unless you're looking for it. That's when Audi realized something terrifying. They don't need to prove it works. They just need to prove the FIA didn't check for it. So they filed an informal challenge, requesting access to the homologation methodology itself. Line by line, step by step, including the materials data. It's the kind of move that usually happens in private. But this time, it's going public. And it's just the beginning. Because Bahrain is coming. And the trap is almost ready. Multiple sources have confirmed that Ferrari, Honda, and Audi are preparing a joint technical protest to be filed immediately after the race weekend. They will allow the race to run, allow Mercedes to compete, allow the engine to perform, and then they'll strike with full sensor data, with thermal deltas, with cross-check trackside telemetry, and with one key demand: an independent teardown, conducted in Bahrain, with their own observers present. If the FIA resists, they'll claim bias. If they agree, and the engine fails inspection, Mercedes faces exclusion. Not from the race, from the championship. And all of it, hinges on what happens in Bahrain. Because that race might be the cleanest of the year, or the one that ends the season. Before it begins, the FIA knows what's coming, and they're not pretending anymore. Bahrain is no longer a race weekend. It's a containment operation. What used to be routine pre-race scrutineering is now being restructured from the ground up. Internal sources confirm that the FIA is preparing blackout zones inside the Bahrain paddock. Sealed garages. No cameras. No team personnel. No observers. Only FIA technicians. And one special unit flown in from Geneva. The same group that handled the 2019 Ferrari case. But this time, their mission is different. They're not just inspecting cars. They're building evidence control protocols. A second layer of heat sensors will be installed in all cars using the Mercedes Power Unit. Real-time thermal logging, tracked across each sector of the circuit, encrypted, stored off-site. And that's not all. A new procedure has been drafted, quietly, called Conditional Compliance Reevaluation. It allows the FIA to perform a random full engine teardown during a race weekend, without team consent, if new evidence justifies it. That clause has never been used before, but it's now been approved. And the target is obvious. Mercedes has been informed. They know what's coming. And according to insiders, they're furious. Toto Wolff has already requested full transparency. He wants a legal observer present during all inspections. He's demanded written guarantees that any test conducted in Bahrain will not be used to trigger retroactive penalties. So far, the FIA hasn't responded. Why? Because inside their own walls, there's a fracture forming. Two sides. Two voices. One faction wants to stand firm, protect the original homologation, avoid public scandal. The other wants to reset, revoke the approval, and force Mercedes to redesign. Both sides know one thing: whatever happens in Bahrain can't be undone. If they clear Mercedes, and something is found later, the credibility of the entire governing body collapses. If they ban the engine, They risk a legal war that could cripple the season. And maybe fracture the sport itself. So now they wait. Nervous. Exposed. Cornered by a storm of their own making. But what they don't know is that the real wild card is not Ferrari, not Audi, not even Mercedes. It's McLaren. Because behind all the noise, one team has stayed completely silent. And they might be the only ones who already know how this ends. They haven't joined the protests. They haven't requested clarification. They haven't said a word. And that's exactly why everyone in the paddock is watching McLaren. Because while Ferrari screams betrayal, and Mercedes prepares for legal war, McLaren is running the same engine. The exact same M17 power unit. Same components. Same thermal architecture. Same invisible trick, if it exists. And yet, they've kept their hands clean. They didn't need to lead the protest. Because they already had what they wanted. Performance. Data. And a front row seat to watch the giants destroy each other. During the Barcelona test, McLaren's runs were limited. Short stints. Medium tire compounds. Minimal broadcast exposure. But internally, they gathered more data than any team on the grid. They ran thermal stress simulations across 3 track profiles. Collected energy recovery metrics in high heat conditions. And most importantly, they tested the exact failure point of the engine's controversial chamber. The conclusion? According to a source inside Woking, McLaren identified the flaw. Not a mechanical issue. A timing vulnerability. They discovered that under specific load cycles, the chamber's expansion pattern begins to desync. It causes inconsistent torque delivery. Invisible on telemetry, but clear when overlaid with driver feedback. It's not enough to ban the engine, but it's enough to understand it. And that understanding is priceless. Because now McLaren holds the leverage. They can side with Mercedes and inherit dominance. Or they can wait, watch the scandal unfold, and strike when both rivals are wounded. But here's the most dangerous possibility. McLaren could expose the flaw themselves. Not through the FIA, but on track. Trigger it. Break it. Reveal it in real time. Under the lights in Bahrain. Because nothing is more damning than a system failure caught in front of the world. It would be clean, devastating, and irreversible. And right now, they're the only team with that power. But the question is, will they use it?